Good afternoon, students. Welcome back. I am making this video for Standard 9 History, Chapter 1, French Revolution. Now, in the previous videos, we had discussed about the causes of French Revolution. We had discussed about the economic crisis. We have discussed about the extravagant expenses and the inefficient administration of Louis XVI. We have discussed about the rise of the third estate against the king. We have discussed about tennis court oath, demand of constitutional monarchy in France, and the leaders who belong to the family of nobles such as Mirabeau and Abbe Sieyès, who supported the movement of Third Estate against Louis XVI. In today's video, we will discuss about the spark of revolution. So, we will start with storming of the Bastille. Now, what actually Bastille is? Bastille was a prison. It was actually a fortress. Okay, it was a prison where the prisoners were kept. And on the day of on 14 July 1789, a huge mob gathered outside Bastille, and they attacked the jail, the fort, and they released all the prisoners. Some of those angry mob, they attacked some of the government buildings. Some of them attacked the houses of the clergies and the nobles. So all these situations were indicating that the people were absolutely fed up with the inefficient administration of Louis XVI, and they were demanding that Louis XVI has to be thrown away from his rule, from the monarchy rule. So they were demanding that the Louis XVI should be replaced, the monarchy rule should be replaced, and there should be a democracy in France. So this was the angry mob. They attacked Bastille and they stormed, released all the prisoners, and this was a very clear-cut indication. By seeing the situation getting worsened, Louis XVI, who has already placed his troops, he ordered his troops to stop the people, to control the people. But the troops also had to struggle a lot to control these people. Even some of the people, some of the mob, they were beaten very badly, they were punished. But their violence could not be restricted. They attacked the houses of the nobles and the clergies, and they were very feared. They were feared of this angry mob, and they ran away from their houses. So this was the spark of a revolution. This was the beginning of a revolution where a large group of people, who most of them were from the peasants and the artisans class, they stood against their rulers. They stood against Louis XVI. In total, there was an anarchy situation in Paris, and Louis XVI was terrified by this anarchy situation, and he decided to set up a national assembly. He was forced to set up a national assembly. Why? Because he understood that in order to control the anger of the people, in order to dilute this movement, for the time being, he has to accept some sort of demands, some of their demand. That is why he set up this National Assembly. Now, The setting up of this National Assembly was a sort of partial victory for the third estate. Now, it was not a matter of joke to convince or to bound a ruler of in Europe on that time. So the entire Europe was witnessing a revolution that Europe has never witnessed before. The common people standing against a ruler. This was actually like a spark which Europe has never experienced. And this spark could lead to such a disaster for Louis XVI. Louis XVI could understand something on that point of time. The situation was getting from bad to worse. As the third estate members, the angry mob, they were turning violent. And they were demanding the arrests of the nobles and the clergies. So this led to the peasant movement. This peasant movement, what they did, by getting fed up with the crop failure and an irresponsible attitude of Louis XVI and his administration against the common people, where they had to buy food or food grains at a very high prices. And against that, there was no sort of, you can say that no one was actually taking the liability of that. A failed administration which was not successful in any of the grounds. Neither they were successful in wars, neither they were successful in managing a country. So this third estate people, they were demanding the removal of Louis XVI and its complete administration. So the peasants, by getting fed up with the attitude of the nobles and the clergies and Louis XVI, they started attacking the clergies and the nobles. They vandalized the government houses. They vandalized the houses of the nobles and the clergies. They got fear. A major portion of nobles and the clergies, they fled away to some of the neighboring friendly nations. So this was a turning point in the movement where the third estate was getting more and more advantages, more and more grounds. Now their movement was not losing the momentum. It was gaining momentum as the days passed. More and more people started to come together against this Louis XVI. Now they don't have fear. They have overcome their fear. Fear of arrests. Fear of death penalty. Their one and the only intention that they had taken in the tennis court oath was to remove Louis XVI from the throne and to set up a constitutional monarchy in France. Getting pressurized by the demands of the third estate people, Louis XVI was forced to set up the National Assembly. Now what was the role of this National Assembly? The role of the National Assembly is that now the powers of the key ruler, this was a sort of partial success for the third estate people. Now this National Assembly, the function of the National Assembly was that it will restrict or limit the power of Louis XVI. This National Assembly consists of legislature, executive and judiciary. So now everything was going, now the country was under a guideline or restriction of National Assembly. So the ruler Louis XVI was not one and the only voice in the country. So after National Assembly gained its power, after National Assembly was set up, it started taking strict actions against the first and the second estate. Inquiry was done by the members, and many of the nobles and the clergies, almost most of them, were found guilty. Guilty of holding illegal land, guilty of holding illegal money. So, which they were eating up the national treasury. They were like the termites who were eating up the national treasury. And what they were done, that the legal action was taken against them. Many of them were arrested. The illegal land that were held by the nobles and the clergies, they were forfeited. The amount were forfeited that was recovered from them. There was now some sort of laws were changed. There was some rectification in the laws. Earlier, only the third state member used to pay the taxes. Now, after the National Assembly was set, even the first and the second state, that means the clergies and the nobles, they were brought under the tax bracket, and they also had to pay tax. So, after the collection was made, after the collection was done, it was found, it was discovered that it was a huge sum of money. The amount of 2 billion livres, which was a debt, a war debt on France, that could be easily repaid. So this was the burden that France was carrying. Now, after the National Assembly was set, the voting eligibility of France was changed. Now there were two conditions. First, men 25 years of age and above had the right to vote. Now the voting was not done on a state basis. Now the voting was done on individual basis. So first condition, voting eligibility of France after the National Assembly, only men, I repeat, only men above 25 years of age and above were allowed to give vote. Second condition, second eligibility, the person who could pay 3 days of their wage as tax can become active voters. And the rest of the citizens who could not meet the eligibility, they will be considered as the passive voters. New rights of men and citizens, so declaration of rights of men and citizens were made. You can find out, you can read out this, you can study this Declaration of Rights of Men and Citizens in page number 11. In a green color box you can see. So with this, I am wrapping up this video. I will come my next video, that will be part 5 very soon. Till then, stay home, stay safe, and